Make a date with Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
Hello, this is Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. And I'm still on the road of Urgent Trust, Part 2. And I'm talking about the story of Joseph, and I began last I shared with you that number one, he needed to go away from the source of his pain. He needed to walk away from his brothers for some time. And I explained, and I expressed the thought that sometimes you need a space. And you need space from the source of pain. And you need space from the source of bitterness, if it is possible. And sometimes you need to also, not just you need space, but you also need to go away and cry out. And cry out that pain. And cry out that bitterness. And cry out that adversity. Let it, cry it out. Don't bottle it in, let it out. And then the next thing that I said was he washed his face. And sometimes the need for you to wash away the salt of bitterness and the salt of trauma and the salt of adversity. Wash it away. That means it is not coming back anymore. Washed away. But then there's another thing too that Joseph did that is very, very powerful for me. After he had separated himself, after he had cried, after he had washed his face, the next thing that he did was the Bible says he tested his brothers. He tested them. And to test somebody, somebody who's done something and you're testing the person, it is to re-establish trust. And here's the principle. Trust is not exacted. Trust must be won. Trust must be earned. You can't, after taking me through such a traumatic experience, you don't expect me immediately to trust you. I need to be sure that you won't take me that road again. I need to be sure that you're not going to kill me. I need to be sure that you're not going to break my heart. I need to be sure that you're not going to place me in harm's way. I need to be sure that you're not going to make me cry again. I don't want to walk that road. That road is a death-dealing road. It kills. It kills. Joseph said, I could have lost my life. If you had left me in the pit to die, your first intention was to kill me. And then I was saved by Reuben. And then you sold me as a slave. You stripped me naked. You made me walk the narrow path of shame to the glare of everybody. You removed my clothes and made me walk naked to Egypt. You sold me to enemies of Israel, Ishmaelites. You walked me through all these other things. And then, at least where you have placed me, Joseph is saying, I've been through it. A woman accuses me of something I didn't do because you placed me there. And then I went into a dungeon, and then if not for grace, and thank God for grace, grace pulled me out of the miry clay, and now I established my feet on a rock to stay. And then you come along, and then you demand trust. No. Forgiveness is instantaneous, and you have to forgive. But trust must be won. Trust must be earned. And trust is earned by a series of actions and decisions you make. Decisions you make followed by actions you take. Don't trust me with your mouth. Trust is not a spoken word. Trust is an active word. It's an action. So Joseph said, I need to test them to make sure that there has been change. So guess what? You might find it very controversial, but that is the truth. Test people who betray your trust. Find out whether they can be trustworthy. You have that right. You have earned that right to test them. You can't just receive them hook, line, and sinker. You can't receive them just like that, as if nothing. No. You need to make sure. You need to protect your heart from bitterness. You need to, because you've been through something. They made you pregnant with bitterness. You have to pour it out. You don't go there again. let them earn your trust. It might sound controversial, but that's the truth. Let them earn your trust. Oh, but Jesus taught on forgiveness. Excuse me. When he woke up he rose up from the dead, he asked Peter 3 times, do you love me? Do you love me? He wants that assurance from Peter that, hey, Peter loves him. He wants that assurance. So you also need that assurance from those people that you can trust them. And if they don't give you that assurance, you forgive them, but don't trust them. The fact that somebody has forgiven you doesn't mean that person should come and sit at your table at dinner and eat with you. No? You have to earn that trust. That says you don't put something into the person's food. Well, what is Reverend Markwei teaching? That's the truth. It's in the Word. Trust betrayed, trust to be restored, trust must be earned. And trust is earned by a series of decisions people make and actions they take. So you know what? Joseph tested them to make sure that he could trust them next time around. Well, these are my thoughts. Urgent trust. When people come demanding trust, please earn it. Okay. I don't think I can talk more on this about it. So